Not since my days in Moscow, in Russia, when a rival burger company opened there, have I ever seen anything like I've seen in Cape Town today. There are queues and queues and queues for the new Burger King, the home of the Whopper. The queues go on, and inside they're serving 3,000 burgers a day. Sitting in the boardroom here at Grand Parade Investments in Cape Town is an advent in the market of a new burger. Grand Parade Investments have brought to town Burger King. And with me, Jaye Sinclair, Chief Executive Officer of Burger King South Africa. And then we have Hassen Adams, Executive Chairman of Grand Parade Investments, and Alan Keet, the Chief Executive Officer of Grand Parade Investments. I've got that one right, have I, gentlemen?
Yes, correct.
Right.
Correct.
Its simple question is, was South Africa open for another burger? I mean, if one looks at America and Britain, you've got a massive market there. Have we got the market in South Africa?
Shall I answer that, Jay?
Yes, please.
I get asked this question all the time. We've done quite extensive research, and the market for the QSR is quite big in South Africa. QSR meaning quick service restaurants, which is fast foods. The total market is about 17 billion rand a year. And we said that if we can take 2 billion of that, we'll be very happy, we'll be jumping for joy, you know, which is not a mean ask, considering that Burger King is the best burger in the world. And that's why I believe we've got a serious game to play here.
How did you get involved, Hassen? Because I know you from horse racing, and I also know you as a prolific businessman, but you're also a Muslim as well.
Yeah.
Was there a contradiction to that, to the purchase of Burger King?
No, why should there be? Burger King is halal everywhere else in the world, you know. I mean, we went to places in Brazil, in Turkey, everywhere. Turkey, all the Burger Kings are halal, so really I don't see why there should be a contradiction. You know, I don't want to get into a religious argument about contradiction, but you know what? The world is a strange place when it comes to what is right and wrong for certain people. And those people are normally the minority. They don't bother me. I know that I have to create jobs in this country. I have to put plates of food on people's tables, and I do that for millions of people. If you look at Grand Parade Investments, it's a champion of the people. It's owned by 14,000 people of our own community.
Let's go to you, Alan, now. How did you come to be involved in this exercise? Who joined who first?
There was a vacancy in the position for about 18 months where Hassen was executive chairman. Hassen and I have known each other for about 12 years through other business. And over time we were chatting, and Hassen said, you know, he's sick and tired of having to be the executive and the chairman, and he needed somebody that could promote the ethos that he prescribes to amongst the people of GPI. And through about a month, 6 weeks of chatting, we came to terms on sort of a meeting of the minds, and I've been here for just over a year now.
There has to be employment in South Africa, so from that point of view, this is an absolutely brilliant exercise. It's probably one of the best, can we not call it BEE, but one of the best empowerment deals that I've seen for many years. So from that point of view, you must be pretty proud. Question is, how did you begin to talk about Burger King?
I was invited to Dubai during the World Cup, and what he does, you know, through Falcon, his marketing company, they invited 35 of the top business people in the world. And I happened to sit next to the vice president of Forbes 5 by 100, and next to me was Andreas Jacobs, you know, who represents the Jacobs dynasty in Germany, and he's also involved with horses, you know. And one thing led to another. We got to a deep discussion because he bought Graham Beck's farm here in South Africa, Main Chance. And we got on like a house on fire, spent a couple of days together on Sheikh Mohammed's, what he calls a yacht, what I call a ship, called the Dubai. And on one thing led to another, in so much so that he said to me, look, Hassen, you know, their family has invested in Burger King. They have a share together with 3G in the company. 3G being the Brazilian investment private equity fund, and they would like to come to Africa. You know, they have a few restaurants in Morocco and in Cairo, but generally sub-Saharan Africa, there's no Burger Kings, and they need a champion. And he has thought about it, and he thinks I should be that champion. I said, wow, Burger King, that's easy, you know, we'll do it. Not knowing what it would cost and what the implications of Burger King would be, because firstly, the cost was way over the top, and when it came to the deal making with his nephew, I said, we can't do it. I said, why don't you come to South Africa and see what we do? Well, they sent their CEO to South Africa and a couple of other guys, and including his nephew. And they saw what I do in this country, and they saw the amount of people that I look after in terms of jobs and careers and all the support services that I provide. They saw the fact that I have a huge investment in the restaurant business and the catering equipment business. And they walked away from here signing a deal without me paying a single cent. It was pure commitment towards Africa. And they believed in me. And that's how it started, you know. I mean, if you ask me how I did it, it was very simple. I said to them, when I do business and when I do deals, I have a very simple philosophy. I say to you, if you want to do a deal with me and you want me to make you happy, don't make me unhappy. And more so, once you agree to that, let's look at best endeavors to entrench good faith. And we shook hands on that.
And at that point, Jaye, you must have come onto the scene once you've established it. And how did that happen?
I've been in business with Hassen since 1998 in the restaurant business. We had sold our business to the Dubai government in 2008, and effectively my contract had come to an end, and was looking for something else to do. And Hassen came along with this idea and said, what about Burger King? I must say, to start with, I said, look, it's a very busy street. I don't know if South Africa can take another QSR brand. Hassen said, look, let's get on a plane and go and have a look at what Burger King has to offer. We went to Brazil and Turkey, met with the master franchise holders in those two countries. And I think it was 20 minutes into the first meeting, and I turned to Hassen and said, let's do it, this is going to work.
You must have been really excited. I mean, Burger King has got to be, I mean, it excites me. I mean, I grew up travelling overseas, and the first thing you dived into was a Burger King. So it must be pretty exciting for you, because the queues that are outside are prolific.
It was phenomenal, and to have the support from Burger King in bringing the brand to South Africa, it made it a lot easier for us. Burger King are partners with us in the business, so they have a vested interest as well in this brand doing well. When Hassen said he wanted to build his Leicester Square Burger King at the bottom of this building, you know, there were quite a few naysayers. I believed Hassen had the right approach. We built a flagship, and since we've opened on the 9th of May, we haven't stopped running a queue.
Is it going to be pretty easy, looking at what we've seen here in Cape Town, to be able to move in on the other franchises?
We were yesterday having discussions with Excellent Meat, who's our meat supplier, and we're going to build a huge factory. The CEO there said to me, I don't know who did your marketing, because it is absolutely phenomenal what you've done in the country. I was in Babsfontein, he says, and people can't wait for Burger King. So I said to him, well, it's my daughter, you know, Rosanna, and I actually went for an operation recently, and I was in hospital, and I said to her about a month ago, I says, are you sure you're doing the right thing? Because I haven't seen anything in the newspapers or on the TV. And she said, just leave it to me. It's a new era of social media, you know. And I tell you, we've reached the smallest corners of Southern Africa. The phone hasn't stopped ringing.
Are you going to do what other franchises have done? And if one looks at Cyril Ramaphosa in his situation, again without mentioning any other product, are you going to restrict it to previously disadvantaged purchasers of franchises?
No. The answer is very simple. You know, I have built this company out of excellence. I entrench whatever I do by demanding excellence. And in doing so, we will mentor people from previous disadvantaged groups to grow into becoming excellent. Yes, there is a definite need to level the playing fields. I'm the champion of that. But I don't want to introduce mediocrity. That's why Burger King will not hand out franchisees to retired teachers and lawyers and so on simply because we want to open stores. We want to maintain a product of excellence with the best quality service. And in doing so, as Jaye has seen in Brazil and in London and in Istanbul, it's not jobs that we offer, it's careers. We will introduce faculties at universities and technicons where we will train people to run stores. We will train people to go even further than store managers. And that's what Burger King is about. It's a new paradigm shift in the food and beverage industry.
I detest the bad service that we're suffering, not only in South Africa, but it's becoming a password in other countries as well. We're getting really bad service coming from people who don't realise they have a career, they're just there to earn a salary. How do you propose to overcome that and create that good service you talked about, Hassen?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, you know, we have learned our trade from Sun International. There is no better gaming operator than Sun International in terms of service. You know.
Are we talking about the old Sol Kerzner?
Old Sol Kerzner, call him whatever you want to. He's introduced magnificent methodologies, Peter Bacon's, you name it, and that's where I grew up. You know, that's where I got to learn. When you walk into a hotel and there's a little speck of dirt on the floor, you pick it up. And that's the culture which I want entrenched in Burger King. It's not about a job, it's about a career that makes you responsible for ensuring that not only the product is good, but the service is excellent. Now, you know, I mean, I can sing until I'm blue in the face, but we're going to take them through rigorous training programs, which we have done now. The staff that you see downstairs, we've sent all over the world to go and see how it's done properly.
I did read somewhere, and I think, Alan, you may want to answer this one, that you're going to hold back a little before you open any more branches. But having seen what you've seen here now, isn't this going to push the exercise a little bit forward?
Tony, I think, you know, when we initially did the exercise, we said we're going to be conservative in our approach and we're going to do this responsibly. And I think we have a responsibility to get this burger to as much of South Africa as quickly as possible.
I think you'll get murdered if you don't.
Absolutely. Now look, I mean, all jokes aside, we have to be absolutely sure that our quality control and our supply chain is in place. And we have to get that quality to the nth degree to the people in Johannesburg or KZN or even beyond our borders in time to come. So as I said, we will do it responsibly, but we have a much more accelerated growth plan than we had when we first embarked on this endeavour.
Right, we're in the honeymoon period, gentlemen, at the moment. I think we all recognise that. It's all wonderful, it's all lovely and everything. Then we come down to earth after the honeymoon period. What are you going to do to keep the ball rolling? What are you going to do to keep people's attention there?
Tony, I think we've got a couple of weapons at our disposal. Obviously, the marketing is one of them. But what Burger King does allow us to do is to adapt our product to the local market. And we also have the world's products that have been developed specifically in other territories that we can then use to attract people into our stores. And we'll start getting into that as you say, the honeymoon period ends. We'll start looking at some special offers for South Africa.
Can we get back to the next shops that are opening? Because I think everybody wants to know where that's going to be. I figure you'll go for about 10 new ones quickly.
Well, the intention is certainly quickly. I mean, you know, we in May, almost at the end of May, and by the end of the year, we're hoping to have close to 10. And most of those shops and centres have been signed up already. There's one or two tweaks that need to be done.
Can we talk about where?
Jaye?
Yeah, the next one's Tiger Valley, and that will open probably in the next 6 weeks. And after that, we've got Cavendish. We have a drive-through location near Lansdowne Road. So we're rolling out very aggressively, and we're going for drive-throughs, inlines, food courts. We're really coming to the public in all different formats.
Can I stop you there, because I'm going to get an awful lot of irate readers and viewers that live in Johannesburg, Durban, Port Elizabeth, elsewhere. Gentlemen, the rest of the country has got bated breath waiting for the Whopper. When's it coming?
Early next year.
Not until next year.
Not until next year. Yeah, we have to get our local suppliers all vetted, our logistics and supply chain in order, and we will then take it to the market. As Alan said, we've got to be responsible, and in doing that, we've got a plan, and we're sticking to our plan. Burger King are 100% behind us on that, and so early next year we were looking at the rest of South Africa.
How many burgers could we eventually foresee being eaten through your branches? It's quite phenomenal. It's scary. And how much employment will that bring?
I've made a concerted effort to be the champion of employing people.
Are you going to allow unions?
Of course, we don't want to be, like we allow religious groups to air their concerns, we'll allow unions too. Because sometimes unions are good in the way that they make quite sure that everybody has a living lifestyle.
I'm going to finish this interview up with the last question to you, Hassen. This is not the end of the road. What comes next?
No, this is not the biggest thing that's hit GPI. Watch the space. In the next 2 months, you'll see a huge new monster hitting GPI. Our ambition is to be able to be the gateway for Burger King to the whole of Africa, not only from a Burger King point of view, but from a supply side too. Now, can you imagine how many jobs that would provide? That's from the manufacturing side to the production side and all the other support services side. And it's always been my dream that Cape Town and the rest of South Africa supplies the whole of Africa. Now, that dream is now within our reach. I'm passionate about South Africa. I'm passionate about the people of South Africa. I'm passionate about not only creating jobs, but training people, making quite sure that we create a society here that can think their way out of poverty.